Welcome, I'm Dana Schlegenhaft, and thanks for joining us on Downtown Now. The 30-minute show you're about to watch is part of a storytelling project by the nonprofit Downtown Bentonville Incorporated. Coming up, we'll sit with a panel of downtown small business owners to learn what it's really like to own a store or run a service business. You're going to hear the good, the challenges, and the little things you can do to help support them. We're also going to grab coffee with Rachel and Monica, the friends behind Two Friends Bookstore in downtown Bentonville. You'll learn their vision for how books can transform communities. But first, across the country, R&B and hip-hop music has been the dominant genre on Billboard charts, surpassing the popularity of pop and rock music. Jeremiah Pickett and Jasper Logan say there's ample room for hip-hop to take more of a center stage in our area. And they've launched a campaign to encourage others to experience, embrace, and promote hip-hop music and artists right here in Northwest Arkansas.
I'm the boy, now you gotta acknowledge it. Flow so sick, I should see a virologist. Where I'm from, you gon' hustle a hoop, hit the trap house and shoot, but I got me a scholarship.
Hip-hop is storytelling. It's celebrating, understanding. It's reflecting, confronting, and calling to action.
It's a culture that is attached to it. It's not just the music. It's not just the lyrics. It's the way you dress. It's the way you carry yourself. It's the way you interact with people.
But local hip-hop artist Bang and Jasper Logan say there's a need and room for more hip-hop across Northwest Arkansas.
There's no glamorous way to say like, yeah, hip-hop has been underrepresented. You know what I mean? There's no, say, like, let's just call it what it is and let's change now.
The pair is behind the Hip Hop Lives Here campaign with the mission to encourage Northwest Arkansas music venues to book more local hip-hop artists, to compel the media to tell their stories, and to motivate the community to give hip-hop a try.
I know what you heard about hip-hop. I know what you think, right? Like, I already know. You think it's a bunch of whatever, insert anything, crazy kids, a bunch of reckless activity, whatever you think. But then you go and you experience, and now like your whole paradigm has shifted.
If you look closer, you get to see like, whoa, there's some really deep, good things that come along with this. You know, people feel deeply connected to the music. People feel deeply connected to the lyrics.
The cool thing about hip hop is it's such a diverse genre. I mean, there's influence from everything from gospel to rock, literally. You know what I'm saying? And so like, I guarantee you can find something that's gonna fit, you know what I mean, what you like, something that might appeal to your style or your senses. Just give it a shot. It's a lot.
The Hip Hop Lives Here campaign will include a series of concerts kicking off on February 9th at George's in Fayetteville, but rest assured, a downtown Bentonville event is in the works as well.
It's really cool to see that people are, you know, they actually are supporting and they're rallying. I want to put a lot of pressure on the, like I say, whether that be venue owners or media to, I mean, it don't gotta be me, but talk about it and dig in there.
There's really great people here that love this city, that want to see good things happen in the city, that want to see its people flourish, that wants to be diverse and inclusive of different types of groups and different types of peoples. I think those desires are true.
And while you may see them out actively campaigning across the region, both Bang and Jasper Logan say they prefer the main stage and are currently ruling out a run for office.
Like, someone offered to write me a speech and I was like, yo, that's cool, but this is just to, you know, get the word out.
People ask me all the time, you know, Bang, when are you moving to New York? When are you moving? I'm not, baby. Northwest Arkansas, we're here and we're building and we're gonna continue to build. That is it.
You know I'm not gonna edit that out, right? My favorite part, so it's what he wanted to do, right?
You can learn more about the Hip Hop Lives Here campaign by checking out Jasper Logan and Bang with 2 A's on social media, Spotify, and make sure to check them out in person. Downtown Bentonville Incorporated will be partnering with them on events throughout 2022, and we'll post about those on our website. Up next, where can you go in downtown Bentonville to grab coffee with friends, Monica and Rachel? We'll show you. We'll be right back. Rachel and Monica are two friends with a shared love for books and the belief that books can transform communities. The two friends run a bookstore right here in downtown Bentonville, rightfully called Two Friends Bookstore. Brooke Beerhouse takes us to the bookstore and then on a book-inspired hike with Rachel and Monica.
It is a cold and beautiful winter morning here in downtown Bentonville, and we are at Two Friends Bookstore, and we are going to meet the co-owners, two friends, Rachel and Monica, who have made an incredible bookstore and a community space here in downtown Bentonville. We are going to get a warm-up inside, and then we'll head out to the North Forest Trail for an art walk. All right, let's go meet Rachel and Monica. Good morning.
Hi.
Well, this is my first time in your space and it feels so inviting, so welcoming. Tell me about how did you first decide to open up a bookstore?
Yeah, well, Rachel and I met at a book club, or that's really where we got to know each other. So our relationship started around books, and we were talking about how we missed having an independent bookstore in our hometown. At that time, there wasn't one in Bentonville. So we just kind of started really incrementally and started doing pop-ups with used books from our friends and family. And it just kind of grew from there.
And we both really believe in transportation, that transportation can be kind of revolutionary in the ways that we arrange ourselves in towns. And so we just wanted to be a part of that and be a part of a place that's walkable and bikeable and has life on the street.
I mean, I would say the community has totally affected how we evolve as a business. A lot of our book selections come from conversations with customers or what people want to order through us. And it's nice also being maybe on a more residential street in downtown because it does lend that kind of like a piece of home our shop, I think, can feel sometimes. So the residents upstairs will come down for coffee or a glass of wine.
Some of my earliest memories are my mother reading to me at bedtime. And so there's this, I think, imprinted memory of books being objects of connection. And also as a kid, I was very imaginative and always living in my imaginary world. And books really provide a vehicle for that, where the author and the reader are co-creating this universe together. And I've always loved that. And it, I don't know, books are kind of everything to me. Is there any book that can inspire us for our art walk today?
Is H is for Hawk. It is a memoir of a woman trying to overcome or work through her grief through a relationship with a hawk.
I chose North by East by Rockwell Kent. And Rockwell Kent is an artist who actually has at least one painting in the permanent collection at Crystal Bridges.
Oh, cool. Right, so we have had our coffee, we've warmed up, we've got our inspiration for the hike, and now we're gonna head out to the trail. This is one of my favorite artworks installations. This is a chipuli, and the stained glass is so beautiful in the light.
Make sure to stop by Two Friends Bookstore at 234 Southwest 7th Street, or you can visit them online at twofriendsbooks.com. Small businesses like Two Friends Bookstores are the economic engine and the heartbeat of our downtown. The business owners you're about to meet in our next segment, they're resilient, they're determined, they're passionate, and they're tough. As we mark 2 years of navigating hurdles brought on by the pandemic, we wanted to give them a platform to share with you what it's like to own a business in downtown Bentonville, and we encourage them to share the good, the challenges, and the ways our community can step up and step in to help them. Meet Lisa Vincent, owner of Remedy Road, Tammy Morez, owner of Cocoon Yoga Lab, and Bobby and Paula Krisk-Selos, owners of Three Dog Bakery. I want to know about the challenges. It's been a challenging 2 years, but overall, just owning a small business in itself has challenges. Tell us about challenges that maybe the community, they don't always see or understand. And I'm going to preface this, I'm going to start with Tammy, because really this whole interview started after a post that you posted on social media. And I'm going to show that now. You are explaining to the community that after owning your business for quite a while, you finally paid yourself. And that was a $48 check for you and a $48 check for your husband. That is eye-opening, I think, to a lot of people who think you own this small business and it's just lucrative. And explain the purpose behind that post, and did you get reaction from people? And to the larger group, that's one of the challenges of owning a small business. Let's talk about cash flow and paying yourself and having other jobs as well.
Yeah, so that check, that was my first time writing myself a check, and it's really hard. Running a small business is really hard. I think people don't realize, unless you're funded, how hard it is. I've put hundreds of thousands of dollars into the business between construction and ongoing rent and all the ongoing expenses that people don't see behind the scenes. And so it's been hard. We opened our doors and 5 months later had to close them because of the pandemic. And so we've never seen what true high is going to be like, or what our true membership base is going to be like. In fact, I was planning on opening a second studio this year, paid for the lease, went through the whole architect thing, and actually hit pause because with the pandemic kind of firing back up, construction prices on the rise, I had to pause that and just kind of get a firm base here. But going back to that check, so the 10th of the month, I pay all of my amazing instructors, and I always would just be so mad writing the checks, and I'm like, I just want one check for myself. I've put in 80 hours or 100 hours this week. Like, I just want a penny. And so I was like, that's it, we're gonna start writing ourselves, even if it's tiny, just so I have like that feeling. But it's hard, and I know a lot of us work second jobs, so I have a full-time job to support the studio, and we'll probably have that for quite some time because it's just really hard to recover from this.
Lisa, tell me about your challenges, and you have another job as well.
Yes, so I work in healthcare and sales, and I've done that for about 16 years. And just like you were saying, I don't pay myself. There's absolutely no way I can pay myself. I don't even get $48. But
Do it.
I know, maybe I'll just take a shirt. Yeah. So the challenge is there is a lot of upfront cost, and I just did it. I didn't initially take out loans. We just said, okay, we're gonna get inventory and we're gonna kind of wing this and make it work. And we've been winging it for 5 years to make it work. So having a store the size we do, like 2,300 square feet, we have a lot of product to stock. And so it does take a lot of upfront of having to buy this product so you look stocked. And then to have the traffic to keep selling it, to keep replenishing with the new and the fresh, especially our clothing aspect, trends change, so you've got to be pretty quick. And so it is a lot of money that we have in the store, and then to not be making money, 5 years in, because 2 years of that was the pandemic, is very difficult. And it's like multiple times had the conversation, do we close the doors next month? Do we stop? Do we stop doing what we, started out doing? Do we go online only? And I really don't want to be online only. Like, that's just not my goal, because the face-to-face connection with people traveling here and getting to actually talk to a human has been very important to me. And so that challenge is something I deal with still on a daily basis. Like, we really hope to be here in a year, but will we? We're not sure. We really need support from, our community to really help us be able to, have longevity.
I can speak for Downtown Bentonville Inc. I'm fairly confident we don't want you online. We want you physically downtown. And a lot of it is that experience 100%. Of, people coming here, living here or visiting, and stumbling upon all of these great businesses in our downtown. So we don't want that to change. Don't go online.
Well, no, that's not the plan. Definitely not the plan.
All right, Bobby and Paula, tell us a little bit about challenges that maybe people don't always see.
Yeah, a lot of challenges that they speak of similar. One thing that I think really stands out for us is that even though we have a lot of products that are oriented towards pets, and like I said, our our strategy is more driven from our in-store bakery component, and so that's what the appeal and the draw is. And it's not the product, it's the experience that we want to have. So the vulnerability that we have is, in any independent pet stores usually find this, is that you have to be very move forward as far as choices of products, because usually those products are going to end up in either e-commerce or in the large retailers as well as, and that's understandable. I mean, those products, when they develop and they get the appeal to be in a large format. So for us, really staying dynamic in that. But what we have found out, I mean, we opened in 2015, and through the years of experience is really focusing more on the experience side and finding products that correlate with that experience has been the biggest challenge for us.
I do want to go at some point in this interview and talk about the great reasons to own a small business, but we are on the topic of challenges, and COVID has been a major challenge. Downtown, we've seen it, whether it's restaurants or shops or organizations as well. You had to pivot. We hate that word, pivot, at this point. But there was a lot of pivoting and a lot of adjusting. Tell us about your experiences with owning a small business downtown, a foot traffic based business, when the foot traffic slows down. What is that like?
Yeah, well, I think you're right. The word pivot, I don't think really, transform is more what it felt like from our standpoint. But yeah, it's very difficult. We were lucky in a sense because the World Pet Association, that kind of a governing, stepped in, and pet food, and since we have a good percentage of our sales for pet food, we were maintained as a necessity, so we were able to keep our doors open. But with that is that concerns for our staff. So Paula and I basically allowed our staff to furlough. We would pay them, and we came in and did most of the hours in the store. And then we understood from the customer standpoint that a lot of them were not comfortable in going around through the pandemic, and so we had to try to develop curbside along with having decent traffic coming into the store. So moving around the labor issue and moving around different dynamics and being just really quick in making decisions was somewhat tough. And then we knew we couldn't sustain it long term, so we had to cut hours down just for our standpoint.
What was it like? I mean, so yoga in itself,
we had to close.
You had to close.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you had to spread out. There's a whole nother component of athletic activity going on in your doors. So tell me about that.
So we were only open 5 months and had to close our doors for a painful 55 days. And being that we're an experience-based studio with aerial yoga, stand-up paddleboard, and we do a lot of stuff with props, you can't really translate that in virtual. We did flip and immediately went to virtual the day we had to close. So our students could still move with us, but it wasn't the same. So we were looking for ways, as soon as we were open, what we could do. So we partnered with a lot of other small businesses that were also hurting, that had bigger spaces than us, where we could offer bigger classes. So one of them was an event center, Heron Crest, and so we would go there and we could have a larger gathering. We used the Cooper Chapel, so we could have a bigger gathering. We used the Momentary Lawn. We used different parks. We did a lot of outdoor classes because people felt comfortable coming and moving outside. So we tried to find as many places that we could collaborate with as possible so we could host bigger classes. We are still not at full capacity because I think old capacity will never feel right, being that close together. So we're still limiting who can come in, how many people we have. Our cleaning standards have never changed since day one. We always were very high standards. And our members thank us for that. They've been really, really supportive and sticking with us through it all.
Retail, Lisa, how was that during COVID?
We did close for a month or so, but we transitioned to which we were online anyway, but we transitioned to we can deliver for free, or you can come to curbside and pick up. And one of my staff members, she's our manager, she constantly did stuff of trying to help the customer of what they needed. And we had a couple customers who are very loyal, and they were like, we want to bring our daughter in, it's her birthday, we can't do anything for her birthday, everything's closed. So she had just, her and her daughter had a little birthday party in the store. So it was just 3 people in the whole store, so it worked out. But it was definitely, I think I've blacked that part out of my memory because I don't want to think about it. We don't want to close again. We want to stay open. But we tried to serve our customer to what they needed. And with retail, people were like, oh, we don't really need clothes. But then I think 6 months into the pandemic, like, yes, I want to go and put real clothes on. I want to go somewhere.
No more sweatpants.
So, yeah, no more sweatpants. But we do have a good selection of sweatpants now.
I think we've all gotten so used to sweatpants now. Maybe that's kind of the norm.
Just throw heels on with sweatpants.
It's cute.
It is.
We'll be back shortly with more from our downtown small business owners. Here's part 2 of our panel discussion with small business owners in downtown Bentonville. So let's give a call to action as we're wrapping up this interview. How can Downtown Bentonville Incorporated, how can the city, how can the community, how can we step up in the beginning of 2022 and throughout the year, no matter what changes with COVID, how can we help support you so that our downtown continues to have these great shops and these great services and is a vibrant, fun place to walk around? How can we help, Lisa?
That's a great question. I wish I had all the answers.
Lisa, we need to know.
You're on the spot. I mean, bringing the community together is a huge part, and just letting people know that we do want their support and we thrive on their support, and anything that we can do as local businesses, we want to help our community. I can't tell you how many emails I get on a weekly basis of organizations or churches or schools or Girl Scout groups or different, not Girl Scouts specifically, but just little groups that are saying, can you donate to our thing? And we thrive on that. We actually had to set a budget, like this is all we can do per month because we get so many, and we want to be able to do that. But in order for us to do that, we've got to have money coming in. And so that's anything that drives that business and the walking traffic and people coming in and wanting to be intentional with their dollars and spend it locally and not come in and then try to find it cheaper somewhere else, because I mean, I can't do price match. What is that, price match? But I sure will try. Like,
without naming any retailers.
I mean, just saying, like, we're happy to try to do it. I mean, those things that we get, you're not gonna, you can't find other places. But I mean, we are wanting to help them as much as we need their help.
Right.
I challenge the community to try something new. Maybe you've always gone to your same regulars. Try a different restaurant, try a different store. Come in, get a different experience, shake it up, because when you shake it up, new things open up in your life, and then talk about it. So for us, the biggest thing is one picture put on social media is huge. Going out and doing a Google review, giving us a 5-star rating, all that stuff helps a small business. People don't realize one little review, what impact that has. So, and that doesn't cost anything. So definitely share, because marketing helps. It helps drive traffic. It helps get people in and let them experience new things.
Exactly, Tammy. I mean, just this forum here, getting exposure in spreading what we do and telling what we do and what we're looking for helps. Just like it doesn't have to be so much monetary, just the likes. We're all pretty active on our social media. We feel that that's a great way to show our community. I think that we, in our spare time, we're always trying to be involved in the community, because that's what we love so much about the downtown area. in Bentonville and Northwest Arkansas as it keeps expanding out is that, just likes, following on Instagram, sharing information, just anything like that doesn't have to be $1 spent in the store.
Last question. Tell me something great about owning a small business, because you do it because you're passionate about it and you love it. Tell the community why you do what you do.
I think for me, it's been getting to know our regular customers, and they appreciate that we know their names. I mean, we have a different business in that we have people coming on a regular basis. So it's been so much fun, being able to talk to people and kind of getting to be part of their family almost. But equally, it's fun to talk to all the visitors and tourists that we have and that comes to downtown and finding out their story. And I think, by us having those conversations with them, it also gives them a sense of what our whole downtown is about, what our small businesses are about, is, being very personable and welcoming and that kind of thing. I don't know anything else that I'd want to do, even with all the challenges and the fact that you're not making money. I would miss it terribly. So
100% community. I've met some of the most amazing people that will be friends for life. And being able to take somebody who's like high stress corporate job, doesn't know anybody here, and bring them in and put them to sleep in like 7 to 8 minutes in a sound bath and calm them down that much that they're snoring the whole class. I love that. And I love the giggles we get. The first time somebody goes upside down and they're giggling, they're like, I haven't been upside down since I was 8. And then they're like, what else could I do with my life? The people 100% is why Cocoon stays open. I love it so much. Not making money for sure. It's a passion. It's a passion project to get people out of their mind and into their bodies and to feel amazing and get them to their highest self. So for me, that's what drives 100% of what I do.
And the same as what they've said, the people, the community, the face-to-face interaction with people. We just really love that the community can come in and have those conversations and just build that rapport with them. But also the connection to many of the people who make our products are global. I mean, and a lot of them are here in the U.S. and it's young entrepreneurial women who need a spot for their stuff. And so really highlighting those people and giving them, because they're begging for community support as well. And not just because they don't live in Bentonville, but we want to be able to help that. And so without us, I know we're a tiny piece in their business, but we want to be that tiny piece that a lot of tiny pieces like us make their whole world. So that's super important to us to be able to stay, and that motivates us to keep going.
Thanks for watching. Before we go, let's all do 3 things to help our downtown small business owners. 1, be intentional in our local purchases. Grab a gift or meal downtown this weekend. Number 2, share a photo from your favorite local business on your social media accounts. And number 3, write a kind review on Google or Yelp. These reviews can be the tipping point to draw in new customers or clients. Thanks for supporting our downtown, and thanks for watching our show. You can catch us every Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. right here on KNWA, and head to downtownbentonville.org for more. We'll see you soon.